Hey guys, what's up? My name's Eric and I'm the Techy Agent, and this is part 3 of a 3-part review of the Apple Watch Series 6. And in this video, we're just discussing my final conclusions after having used the Apple Watch Series 6 for my primary fitness tracker for about the last month. So first things first, if you haven't seen part 1 and part 2 of this series of videos, make sure to check out those videos first because some of this may not make sense unless you've watched those videos. I'm gonna put a link in the description of this video where you can check out part 1 and part 2 of this 3-part series. So I touched on this in both part 1 and part 2 of my Apple Watch Series 6 review. But in my opinion, the weakest or biggest flaw of the Apple Watch is the app. The app is ugly. It is dated. It really hasn't changed since they rolled out the original Apple Watch. So now we're on Apple Watch Series 6. We've had 5 other watches prior to this with the exact same app, and it's super ugly. The graphs, like the heart rate graphs, they don't even really look like heart rate graphs. They just look like these random dots across the screen. It's really ugly. It's laid out in a very clunky, confusing way, and I don't know why Apple hasn't redesigned the app from the ground up. So there actually is a fix to this, but it's gonna cost you $5. There is an application that you can download called the HealthFit application. And what this does, the HealthFit application will ask you for permission to read all of the data that is being collected by the Apple Health applications and the Apple Watch. It can then take this data and present it in a much better way, a way where the graphs actually look like graphs. It's a cleaner format, and you get just a much cleaner, more user-friendly, intuitive design, and I highly recommend spending the $5 that it costs to buy the HealthFit application. Yes, it sucks that you have to rely on a third-party application to get something that actually looks good, but it's well worth it because the Apple Watch Health app it doesn't look good. And that's surprising to me because typically Apple does a really good job with design. Design has always been kind of at the forefront of most Apple products. Everything always looks cool. It looks clean. It's intuitive. Not the Apple Watch application, the Health Fitness application. It looks like something from 10 years ago. It looks really, really ugly. It's a terribly designed app. Apple, if you happen to ever watch any of my videos, which you probably don't, do something about your application. It looks terrible. That way we don't have to go spend $5 on a third-party app that looks better. Now, application aside, the Apple Watch Series 6 does appear to have both the most accurate GPS sensor that it's had, or GPS chip rather, and it also appears to have the most accurate optical heart rate sensor that Apple has ever released. So they did release a new optical heart rate sensor, and it is a few seconds faster in acquiring your active heart rate compared to the previous generation Apple Watch Series 5. So the Series 5, by the way, is super accurate in terms of an optical heart rate sensor, reading your heart rate from the wrist. It's one of the best that I had tested up to the point of when I tested the Apple Watch Series 5. My opinion is that the Apple Watch Series 6 even improved on that design, not necessarily in terms of the accuracy, but in the speed in which the sensor is able to acquire your heart rate. So typically, an optical heart rate sensor lags behind your actual heart rate by a little bit, by a few seconds. A few years ago, it was as much as 30 to 60 seconds lag, and then it began to slowly get whittled down to the point now where we're talking about 5 or 6 seconds lag behind your actual heart rate. And the Apple Watch Series 6 is the best optical heart rate sensor that I've ever tested on the wrist. It's able to acquire your active heart rate very, very quickly. And so it's great to see that Apple didn't really need to even improve upon the previous design if they didn't want to, but they did. They made it the most accurate optical heart rate sensor, in my opinion, that you can buy anywhere. Now, in terms of GPS, it's not the most accurate GPS sensor that you can buy. Garmin, in my opinion, on some of their higher end Forerunner and Fenix series watches, has a significantly better GPS chip in terms of accuracy, quick acquisition, all of those kinds of things. That being said, the Apple Watch Series 6 did appear to fine-tune a little bit some previous glitches that we used to see from previous generation Apple Watches. Previous generation Apple Watches would often have what DC Rainmaker calls the Mario Kart effect, meaning that when you would go around a corner, rather than it being a nice, sharp, precise corner, the Apple Watch would show your GPS track really swing out wide, and it just, you know, always looked weird and it was obviously inaccurate. Well, the Series 6 has definitely improved upon that. They don't have this, you know, Mario Kart effect going on anymore. It's definitely a little bit more fine-tuned and accurate. Now, I don't actually know if Apple has updated the actual physical hardware in the watch, if it's got a new GPS chip or not, or if it's just a firmware update. But whatever they did with the Series 6, it is showing up as being slightly more accurate than what I'm seeing from the Apple Watch Series 4 and Series 5. And the battery life on the Apple Watch Series 6 is adequate enough for someone who is running, you know, a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, even really a full marathon. The Apple Watch Series 6 is capable enough, just as is, to track your heart rate, your calories, and your distance, and you know, a few other important metrics that are important to runners. It has all of that built in right out of the box, and in my opinion, it would be accurate enough for someone who's wanting to train for a running event. Now, that being said, if someone is a serious runner where they're entering multiple races a year, or where they are jogging or hiking or riding their bike on a somewhat regular basis, like several times a week, then I would probably recommend something, again, from Garmin, something like a Forerunner watch, a Fenix series watch, or even really one of their Vivoactive watches. Garmin just has better GPS accuracy when it comes to, you know, comparing them against a lot of the competition, and that includes Apple. And so, yeah, if you're a serious runner, serious hiker, serious about some sort of GPS tracking sport, then I would definitely tell you to go with a Garmin device. But if you're just someone like me, who's a little bit more casual, who isn't really necessarily running all the time or hiking all the time, then the Apple Watch Series 6 is more than enough to meet those needs. Now, Apple promoted the O2 sensor, the ability to read your oxygen levels in your blood. They promoted that at their keynote as being, you know, this huge thing that was a game changer for the Apple Watch Series 6. And it's a game changer in the sense that it appears that Apple has the most accurate wrist-based O2 sensor on any wearable. I know that there are a couple of other wearable makers out there that have those kinds of oxygen sensors on the wrist, like Garmin, and most of the individuals that have tested those out have reported that they're getting horrific results, that they're nowhere close to being accurate. And so Apple was actually able to pull off an O2 sensor that appears to be pretty accurate within a degree of like 1 to 2%. And so I actually have another video that I'll put in the description of this video where you can check out where I tested that feature specifically. Now, that being said, is that a game changer? Does that make it, you know, something that's a must-have for future wearables? It depends, right? Like, in my opinion, if you're someone with some sort of underlying medical condition where your oxygen levels would be an important thing to pay attention to, then it makes a lot of sense, right? If you're someone who's got asthma, if you're sick, if you're sick with COVID, if you, you know, if there's some sort of underlying medical condition that you're trying to keep tabs on, I can see where that sensor would be helpful. For someone who's average health or healthy or even fit, I don't really see that it's that big of a game changer. And so if you already have the Apple Watch Series 4 or Series 5, I don't really think that the O2 sensor is enough of an offering from Apple for you to feel the need to go out and upgrade. Yes, the optical heart rate sensor on the Series 6 is slightly faster, maybe a little bit more accurate. Yes, the GPS is a little bit more fine-tuned, but it's not so much better than the Series 4 and the Series 5, where you have to go out and buy the Series 6 because it's a total game changer. So in my opinion, If you're thinking about buying an Apple Watch and you don't have any Apple Watch at all, you're buying it brand new, then I would certainly recommend, obviously, just start with the Apple Watch Series 6. But if you're already coming from an Apple Watch and you already have a Series 4, a Series 5, then I really don't think you're gonna be that happy with spending all of your money to buy a Series 6, because quite honestly, I haven't noticed a whole lot of difference in terms of my day-to-day use. Other than, I've got the red one now, so it's a different color. But other than that, my user experience on my end has felt like this is pretty much the same as my Apple Watch Series 5. And so yeah, if you've got the Series 4, Series 5, save your money. Let's see what they do with the Series 7. So let me know in the comments below if you agree with a lot of what I'm saying. If you disagree, if you have any questions, I'd love to chat with you guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching. My name is Eric and I'm the Techie Agent. We'll catch you next time.